Hey, Blaire, what does it say about you that the second a trans person that you don't like does a bad thing, you jump on the opportunity to have any excuse to misgender a trans person? All right, so I am blessed on this day because Blaire White has now given me an excuse to milk the Chris Chan thing even more. We get to make a third video. Look at that. We get to make a third video on this extremely popular and politically prescient topic. In reality, I feel desolate, and I really wish I didn't have to cover this video because I feel like it's going to try to pigeonhole me into a position that I don't want to take, almost. Let's talk about it. So Blaire White, for those of you that don't know, about a year ago, did a video on a trans athlete, a trans woman who's an athlete named Janae Marie Kroc. And that video was riddled with lies and transphobic rhetoric, so much so to the point that, and you know, Blaire White does that all the time. Blaire White's videos are full of lies and transphobic rhetoric, but this video in particular was so egregious. It was so egregious that Blaire White got mega canceled by her own audience for it and lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers and went from being well over 1 million subs down to below it, down to like 700. But she's working her way back up. She'll probably be at 1 million again, probably because of this video here. Blaire White, of course, has actually started moving more in somehow an even more despicable direction. Imagine adding on to the Eugenia Cooney shit. Do you remember when everyone made fun of Onision for like relentlessly harassing and making videos on Eugenia Cooney? Any other fellow internet boomers in chat right now remember that? Like, who else remembers that? The Eugenia Cooney thing. Wait, who is that? Wait, you guys don't... Okay, Eugenia Cooney is a girl who makes videos on the internet who is severely anorexic, and everyone on the internet feels as though it's their place to make videos responding to this person saying they need to do something about their anorexia. It's actually something I've never understood. Like, I get, like, oh, young girls could be influenced by her weight or whatever. I don't know if you're aware, but making YouTube videos about someone who has, like, a mental condition, like anorexia, does nothing whatsoever to help that situation. Literally let's not pretend that what Blaire White is doing here and what anyone else who's made videos and this person is doing here isn't monetizing someone else's eating disorder, okay? That's exactly what the fuck this is, okay? Let's not pretend it is anything else other than monetizing someone's eating disorder. It is not going to help Eugenia Cooney. It is not going to educate people on the risks of eating disorders and promoting good mental health. That's not what it is. It's just a ploy to make money off of this person's eating disorder. However, of course, now we've got a video that we all knew was coming. We all knew it was coming, and we know it's not going to be the only one. Blaire White's Chris Chan video. Now, before we get into Blaire White's segment on Chris Chan, there is a caveat that I have to add. And it is that Chris Chan is unironically the real life stereotype, like TERF stereotype, of a man who pretends to be a woman to get with lesbians. I'm actually not kidding. I did more research, and it is actually self-admitted that is the reason why Chris Chan transitioned. Here. Let's find the wiki where they have archived all of these things. So here's the problem. Here is the issue, okay? So unfortunately, the world is a big place, and just based on math and statistics, eventually a broken clock will be right once or twice a day. And in this case, the TERFs and Blaire White, etc., are correct about this one individual person who fits the stereotype exactly. Just spot on, exactly fits the stereotype. Now, unfortunately, the Sonichu.com quickie is down, so we can't actually, like, get a good idea of what's going on. It's like super scuffed right now, but well, let's go ahead and take a look here. This is the official Chris Chan wiki. All right, they fucked their mom. They raped their mom. Puff puff. All right, so here we got some tweets. I had a difficult time finding a sharp quality photo of me from 2009, but I managed. Seriously, this is like an apples to oranges comparison. I was so geeky and naive, as much as I loathed that word back then. So far, not really a big deal. Chris Chan's self-posted transition timeline from 2009 to 2019, when Chris was on feminizing hormone therapy for 3 years. Aside from longer hair and slightly shifted fat distribution from HRT, Chris's appearance is largely the same post-transition. That's a little bit yikes, but. Where's the bit about the reasoning? Because there was a, yeah, here it is. There's a little bit of homophobia in these quotes, by the way. Chris Chan is very homophobic and also racist, so, prepare yourselves, okay? Yes, I am a tom girl, and I am damn proud of it. I have embraced and appreciated my feminine side. I am still totally heterosexual, otherwise I would be a full-blown you-know-what. The F-slur. Chris Chan's very homophobic. I have been more self-confident, and I have a sweet sachet walk, hair, wink, and flirts, and I am greeting women left and right. Also, here is another way to consider me. I am a Ken doll. Any Barbie can dress in her clothes, and I would feel most comfortable in them. And to model them for her. Come shopping with me, sweetie. I hate this font. I utterly hate this font. And this goes on for a while. Lesbian identified male is a quote that Chris Chan went as for a while. Yeah. So Chris Chan, it is like very well documented that Chris Chan... What is the dog doing? It is very well documented that Chris Chan unironically transitioned because she thought it would be easier to get with lesbian women than it would be to get with straight women. That is unironically the self-admitted reason for that. However, despite the fact that this one individual fits this TERF stereotype of trans people, that doesn't mean that all trans people are like this. But of course, we're talking about Blaire White here. And Blaire White's whole thing is to say, I am a good trans person. All the other trans people are bad unless they fit this very narrow sort of line of approval that I have for them. And here's why this person is an example of a lot of trans people. So let's go ahead and watch. I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Back to my
Hit me up, Blaire.
channel. So if you've
Hi, Blaire.
watched me even just casually throughout the years, you would know that I...
Also, I want to make this very clear. Blaire came when she learned who Chris Chan was, okay? Also, me and Lonnie have these exact same pillows, and I feel kind of dirty about that. No, but without a doubt, just involuntarily, without even realizing it, no stimulation whatsoever, Blaire White came whenever she discovered who Chris Chan was, because she realized how much money and how many views that this particular person could be milked from, okay? Like, how many views we could get from this person. Also, this should go without saying, Chris Chan's a rapist and, like, a delusional, sick piece of shit. Fuck them, and I'm glad that she's going to prison. Fuck Chris Chan, but, yeah.
What the dog doing?
What is the dog doing? I'm really curious. We got to find out what the dog doing. Yeah, just throwing that out there because I know that some Blaire White fans are going to try to come into the comments and claim that I'm defending Chris Chan. It's all they're going to have is just saying, huh, so you think Chris Chan was in the right for rape? That's literally going to be all the comments from Blaire White fans. So just getting ahead of that one.
I have covered some of the most depraved, interesting to say the least, just gutter butt individuals that exist on the internet, and I've chronicled people like Jessica Yaniv, people like Stefankny, and honestly I felt like I had kind of been desensitized to the black abyss that is humanity. I just really thought I had seen it all, but according to you guys in the many DMs I've received over the past few days, I have in fact not seen it all. And speaking of Jessica,
oh geez, you know, you are defending Chris Chan. Nice ban, buddy. Have a good one. You know, I was completely right. Can we agree that I won my my epic hardcore debate with Vosh the other day? Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember when I debated Vosh on why left-wing content creators should be talking about this topic? I was completely right. I was completely right. I predicted all of this. First I said it would be Blaire White. Well, here's what I said, and I was completely right. First, it would be the normies covering it, and they would be dead naming and misgendering, etc., etc. And there would be people in the comments talking about how this is all trans people. Trans people are these mentally ill, delusional men who are predators, yada, 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 or trans women. And then it would be Blaire White and other right-wing demagogues who would be flooding the algorithm with videos about how Chris Chan is a example of a trans predator that needs to be called out. And then left-wing content creators are going to be feeling too high and mighty to talk about this because it's so degenerate and stupid. It is. This entire topic is degenerate and stupid. And the right is going to have all the ground ceded on this topic to completely. Like, the left will have no input, no say on this issue. It'll be all right-wing content creators talking about it, and it's going to passively suggest that the left is in support of Chris Chan while the right is against Chris Chan. Super stupid. Yeah, that's exactly what I predicted was going to happen is what happened.
Yaniv, the story that we're covering today does mirror Jessica Yaniv in certain aspects because Chris Chan, the subject of today's video, is trans. And the reason I say trans is because this person has self-identified as a tomgirl, intersex female soul with a male body, a tranny crossdresser, and a lesbian identified male. Not to mention this.
I hate to say it, but she's not wrong. Blaire White, I've been watching more of the documentary, and Blaire White is actually not wrong in anything she has said there. Is that, yes, everything Blaire White just said there is true. Chris Chan has admitted that the reason why they are transitioning is in order to get with lesbian women because they're easier to get with than straight women, apparently. Yeah. Chris Chan, as I said before, is the textbook, like, stereotype that the right makes of trans people. Or that Blaire White would make of trans people. How far are you into the documentary? Episode 11. But I've also been talking to my friend Ethan, who's seen the whole thing and has given me like a lot of stuff. I feel dirty agreeing with Blaire. Hey, listen. What she said so far is true, but you know she's going to extrapolate this to be even more crazy, and we're going to have stuff to respond to, okay? Trust me. I know how Blaire White makes her videos.
This person's alleged transition consists of piercings, wearing menstrual pads, taking medication to treat menopause, which is not recommended or useful for transition, cutting his own genitals with a box cutter at home because the internet told him to, claiming to be
All right, already, I gotta interject here. All right, Chris Chan is someone who, wait, so who the fuck even cares about respecting the pronouns? All right. So here's why I suggest that we should still respect the she, her pronouns of Chris Chan. And that is because for starters, they're completely unrelated to the things that Chris Chan has done. All right. What does Chris Chan's pronouns or claiming to be trans have to do with Chris Chan raping her mom? What does that have to do with anything? Like, clearly, if you take, like, so much issue with using she, her pronouns for Chris Chan, there's obviously some underlying reason for that. And you're probably a bit iffy about trans people, because if we're talking about Chris Chan raping her mom, then this has nothing to do with Chris Chan being trans. This has nothing to do with Chris Chan's pronouns or whatever. Why the fuck are you the one trying to make it political? I want to make this very clear here. If you complain about people making non-political issues political, you making a big deal about not wanting to use she, her pronouns for Chris Chan, you're making it political. You're making it into a political issue, and all it should be at the end of the day is, hey, look, this person raped their mom and needs to go to prison for it. So, also, and I want to say this here, let's assume Chris Chan is trans, like a genuinely trans, and does not have any weird motivations for this. Hear me out. All right. Let's take like another marginalized group like trans people. Let's use black people as an example, right? Another marginalized group gets a lot of shit, right? if you have a black person who did something bad, like pedophilia, for example, something comparable to this situation, and you called that black person the N-word because, quote, I don't respect that person, that sort of gives the impression that every black person is one bad action away from you calling them the N-word and being racist towards them, but you just respect them for not doing that thing, and that's why you refrain from letting your racism out against them, you know? That's the impression that kind of comes off. Not to mention, in both cases, if you're attacking Chris Chan for being trans or whatever, or you're attacking in this example, like a black pedophile for being black, you're not attacking these people for what they did wrong. You're attacking them for things completely unrelated. Chris Chan is bad because Chris Chan raped her mom. That's why Chris Chan is bad. Why are you getting lost in the weeds on Chris Chan and their pronouns? Black? What? I think we got Nazis like crazy in chat right now. Hey mods, go deal with it, okay? No timeouts, just bans, okay? We got way too many people watching right now. We got 1,400 viewers, okay? We're naturally gonna have some dumb fucks in chat, okay?
Because the internet told him to, claiming to be trans to, quote, to get more girls, and being the wife of the Pokemon Mewtwo, so...
Yeah, Blaire White just came. That's why she had to get up, by the way. Just reminding all of you right now, Blaire White just came. She remembered, like, how perfect this story is for her to push her agenda, and she had to get up because she just came and has to change her pants. She's going to be wearing different pants when she comes back on frame, I promise you, okay? She's wearing different pants now.
Chris Chan is often referred to as the most documented person on the internet. Although it may be a new name to some of you, to a lot of you, you will know that he is actually very internet famous, and his antics and criminal history and posts and just everything, every interaction he's almost ever had is documented on the internet, to the point where there is a series on YouTube going on part 60, I believe, right now.
I'm on part 11. I'm on part 11 right now.
And all the episodes are really long. Like, it's a whole thing with this mother. So why am I here talking about Chris today? Well, Chris was trending on Twitter just a few days ago, and I noticed this, and I have heard the name kind of off and on throughout the years because, like I said, he is quite...
I knew that Blaire White had never heard of Chris Chan before until recently, like actually heard, and then just dollar signs. Her, like in a cartoon, her eyes turn into dollar signs the second she read why Chris Chan was trending. She heard trans, cringy, mentally ill, rapist. Those were the words she saw in the first 2 tweets she saw when she clicked on that trend, and her eyes turned into dollar signs like, oh, we're milking this one so dry. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Did someone say there is a bad transgender and everyone needs to know that there is a bad transgender? Oh, ho, ho.
Quite well known. Previously, I had not really dove into the entirety of his history online, which I did last night, and I'm wearing 10 pounds of concealer because I have dark circles out to here. It is haunting me. So I see Chris Chan trending on Twitter, and I look, and it's because of a leaked audio in which Chris admits to raping his 80-year-old mother with dementia. I then go to Chris Chan's Twitter profile, and Chris follows me. I think I'm going to delete my account. Now, this story is rapidly developing, but as of yesterday, Chris was actually...
How much do you want to bet Chris Chan got the idea from Blaire White? Yeah, I feel like that might actually be a thing. I think Chris Chan probably saw Blaire White talk about like how like trans predators and how they're just pretending to be women to get with lesbian women, and Chris Chan saw that and was like, wait, I can do that? And then decide to do it. How much do you want to bet that was the case?
Arrested for this, which, hallelujah, how many times is there never any justice served for things that happen on the internet? Like we see so often with Onision, with Yaniv, they keep escaping the justice system, but hopefully this...
Because apparently I don't believe either Mr. C, any of her past boyfriends and ex-husbands, they haven't really reached and hit her really scared. Approached her with care and caution, so I just gave her comfort and talked with her, and we
This is a pleasant listen,
out
chat.
slow and
I'm having a
steady,
good
then
time listening to this.
I
Aren't you all having a great time listening to
move.
this?
She wanted to do it. And
Oh, she did? Really? She made the first move?
yeah. I think she was partially confused at one point, but then she came around.
Okay, I already played this clip in my video. We know. All right, Blaire, we know. Come on, I already played the clip. We've all already heard it.
So immediately after this audio was leaked, which, by the way, I cannot confirm like who leaked it, who knows, but pretty much immediately.
We know who leaked it, Blaire. Dude, Blaire, this is a perfect example of Blaire being incapable of doing research, okay? I hadn't even finished the Chris Chan documentary series, and I did the research to find out how that audio was obtained. The troll's name, I believe, was Bella, but we don't know if that's the real name of the troll. There's a group of trolls that are a little bit closer with Chris Chan, that their goal is to basically get, gain trust with Chris Chan and get a lot of information, and that's how we got it.
Immediately, the internet obviously and justifiably went into an uproar, and I can only imagine how many calls were made to the authorities. I mean, you have elder abuse, you have abuse of someone who is not all there, obviously having dementia, and I don't know if you guys have ever known anyone that had dementia, but it's incredibly sad, and the thought of violating your own blood, your mother, when they have dementia in any way, like nonetheless, but in any way is sickening, and frankly, Chris Chan deserves to be locked behind bars forever. Like, clearly he's a blight on society. Clearly society would only stand to gain by having him.
I actually do agree with this. I think Chris Chan probably needs to be institutionalized in some way. For those that don't know, Chris Chan is not all there. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, autism. Like, yes, Chris Chan does have autism, but Chris Chan also clearly has many other problems outside of that.
Removed from it. I mean, I would say this is like the bottom of the barrel of morality, but it's not even in the barrel. It didn't even make the cut to be inside the motherfucking barrel. And apparently, despite being arrested for the rape of his mother, he seemed to be in good spirits.
And I continue to stand strong, and I maintain everything with quick fill and my side shoes and nose shoes and everybody.
Yeah, you're live to about 3,000 people right now, Christian.
It was Ethan Ralph of the host of the Kill Stream, by the way, that got this video. So that kind of gives you an idea of how fucking deranged the people that are obsessed with these, with Chris Chan are. That Ethan Ralph went and found the hotel that Chris Chan was staying at to live stream Chris Chan getting arrested. Love to see it.
Well, don't... You're taking everything in stride? You said you're doing good?
I keep it good faith. Everything is going to work out.
Doing good, feeling good?
Yeah,
How's the last few days been? I know it's been pretty stressful.
it's been stressful, but I've taken it one
This is
more
Virginia,
day.
by the way. Destiny is a girl's name.
I got my loves.
And you want to know what part of this story, I mean, all of it is maddening, but the part of the story that is just a little cherry on top of a horrific, disgusting situation, the part that just makes me want to drive my pink car off of a cliff, is the fact that Chris was actually filed as a female for the mugshot and will likely, because of that, be placed into a women's prison.
Probably not. It depends. This is actually where things get a little bit... This is the part where things get like a little bit like iffy. So it's a lose here. All right, it's a lose here basically. For trans people broadly with this situation. So if Chris Chan is put into a men's prison and is found to be a man by the state of Virginia and put into a men's prison, then that will be used as a precedent in the future to put many other trans women into men's prisons, where, as we know, trans women are basically like, I've been like, prison as a concept really interests me. I've been doing a lot of research about it lately, and trans women who are sent to men's prisons are literally like, they are almost guaranteed to be raped repeatedly in men's prisons. Trans women are. It's really fucked. So it'll either be, so if Chris Chan goes to a men's prison, it'll set the precedent for sending more trans women in the future to men's prisons, which is obviously a big problem for trans people. Like that precedent could be justified to send like Blaire White, if Blaire White broke the law, for her to be sent to a men's prison. Like that's how bad that could be as a legal precedent. And then if Chris Chan goes to a women's prison, then people like Blaire White and every transphobic like right-wing content creator can use this as an actual example of someone who, to be fair, is probably not genuinely trans. I mean, we went over the claims before and the evidence, actually being in a woman's prison. Frankly, if I'm being completely honest, I have a feeling that Chris Chan would probably have the shit beat out of her in a woman's prison, or just wouldn't have a very good time. But yeah, it's a lose-lose for the trans community no matter what. It just is, unfortunately. Like, this is either the right gets a huge W handed to them on this one, or the right gets a huge W handed to them because there's a legal precedent set to consider trans women legally men and have them sent to men's prison. Either way, it's a W for the right.
Because of that, be placed into a women's prison. So a fully intact biological male, his mother. It's also worth noting this is not Chris's first incident of assaulting someone. There is actually a video of him macing a GameStop.
Chris Chan maced a dude and ran a person over. Yes, we know. Chris Chan has been violent in the past. Yes, we know. We are aware.
Employee seemingly unprovoked. And the GameStop employee doesn't seem to be anywhere near Chris to warrant any type of physical self-defense. And as a result, Chris was arrested.
Don't call anybody.
And that was the bar too.
Now, a perhaps obvious piece of information that is relevant to the story is that Chris is autistic, and I have seen some people, not the majority by any means, but I have seen some people saying that this behavior is the result of him being autistic, and that it might not be true that he actually has done this to his mother, because autistic people might lie about that. And my whole thing is, have the people who are saying this ever met an autistic person? Because I know many autistic people. I have people in my family who are autistic, and they don't do the kind of shit Chris does, and they don't lie about stuff like I don't understand how being autistic makes you more of a liar. Like, what does that even mean? Also, to my knowledge, Chris is high functioning, so it's even more of an insult. Like, you think high functioning autistic people behave like this? Like, and there is another sizable chunk of people who, you know, their main takeaway from hearing about a horrific and violent rape of an 80-year-old with dementia is that we should be using the right pronouns for Chris. We shouldn't be misgendering
here it is.
Chris.
Here it
There
is.
are a lot of people who their only opinion on the entire thing, like their only statement on their Twitter feeds or their TikToks or wherever the fuck they're talking, is that we should be using the correct pronouns for Chris. And I'm kind of like,
She admits they're the correct pronouns.
What exactly does it say about you that upon hearing about such a horrific thing, your only thoughts are about pronouns? And then,
Hey, Blaire, what does it say about you that the second a trans person that you don't like does a bad thing, you jump on the opportunity to have any excuse to misgender a trans person because they did a bad thing? What does that say about you, Blaire, that you take any chance that you possibly can, any opportunity to justify that? And it was the first thing you touched on in the video was why you're going to be using he, him pronouns for Chris Chan. Was the first thing you talked about. It was the first thing to come up before you even talked about Chris Chan raping her mom. Clearly it was more important to you than the horrible thing that Chris Chan did.
and you wonder why no one takes you seriously.
I called it. Can we just say that I was 100% right about what was going to happen because of this? Like, the instant that all of this happened and I talked about it on stream, I, like a fucking seer, predicted everything that was going to happen. I predicted everything that was going to happen following this drama. Every single thing. Every single thing. It's amazing. Anyway, we got to get to the Vosh debate. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the goddamn bell icon, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. My social media is all in the description. And of course, if you want to support me financially to help me keep doing this stream, you can donate on my website, subscribe, gift a subscription. You can super chat, donate, or even prime sub on Twitch. It's all appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one.